I mean, I'm at a loss for words at this point. We just swept our picks from yesterday's video. This is the third sweep, 3-0 on our picks in the last 4 videos, bringing our total in these last several videos to a whopping 23-5, guys. That means we've gotten 23 out of the last 28 picks that I've dropped in these videos correct. That's over an 82% win rate. I don't know if you guys all understand how incredible that is, how difficult that is. There's a lot of you who are new to this and don't understand that what we're doing here is special. It's special. It's so special, in fact, that I want to take a minute and tell you that I've been receiving DMs from people. I've been receiving comments down in the comment section of these videos from people saying that you and I are changing lives with these videos. We're putting more money in people's pockets, which is allowing them to pay bills, which is allowing them to put more Christmas presents under the Christmas tree. And with great power comes great responsibility, my friends. And this is where you can help me out. This is where you can give back. I need your help to share these videos to get this message out with as many people as possible. 23-5 doesn't lie. The proof is in the pudding. At this point, this is a real thing, what we're doing here. And as many people as we can need to hear about it. They need to hear about it, but I need your help. I can't do it myself. So do me a favor real quick. I need you to make sure that you're subscribed with notifications turned on. Turn all notifications on, okay? Hit the like button. By hitting the like button, it tells YouTube that you like this content and it should recommend it to more people out there, okay? And then the third and final thing that I need you to do is pause the video, find somebody in your contact list, find somebody in a group chat, find somebody in a Discord that you're a part of, and share this video with them. Share the channel with them. Let's get as many people as possible watching these videos. Let's blow this thing up. All right, you see the subscriber count, it's grown substantially over the last week. We're on our way to what? 17,000 subscribers. This could easily be a 20,000 subscriber YouTube channel with your help in the next few weeks. I believe wholeheartedly that you guys, you and me, you can help me get to 20,000 subscribers. Can you do that for me? All right, hit the pause button. I'm not going anywhere. Take care of those things. Subscribe, like, turn notifications on, and share this video with someone. And I'll be right here waiting. Go ahead. No, seriously, go ahead, go. All right, now that you've done those things, we can get into today's video. Appreciate you guys joining me once again. My name is CJ Curry. We're looking at the PrizePicks board today. Obviously, we've got 2 NBA games, kind of a light slate. So I got a couple of picks lined up here that we're going to get into. But first, if you're not playing on PrizePicks yet, go ahead and get signed up. Make your first deposit using code Curry. They're going to give you a 100% instant deposit match on your first deposit all the way up to $100, matching you dollar for dollar, which means your first entry on PrizePicks is completely risk-free and it's on the house. All right, no risk involved. So go down to the description of today's video, click that link, make that first deposit. When you use code Curry, you're gonna get that deposit matched up to $100. All right, most of the value that I'm seeing early on here from today's games are going to be from this Indiana Pacers Milwaukee Bucks game. And really, it's the game that we should be targeting anyways, because if you kind of go and take a look here at the total of this game, it opened at 253.5 points. It only went up 1 point to 254.5, but still, guys, as far as totals go for basketball games, NBA games, 250 plus points is insane. I mean, that's a lot of points. You saw what these two teams did in the previous round of this in-season tournament. This game has the potential to go way past 250 for combined points. I think this has a very high upside type of game with the pace that both of these teams play at. You just never know. I mean, it could turn into a real track meet. So this is the game to target. And I've done just that. I've been able to locate some pretty good value here using the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. So let's take a look at the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer real quick. The first play is Obi Toppin. And we're looking at Obi Toppin's points and rebounds. Good value on this pick. He's at 15.5 points and rebounds, giving him about a 53.7% chance of going over 15.5. You're already starting to see some of the sports books bump him up to 16.5 points and rebounds, like DraftKings and BetMGM. So it's not going to be long before PrizePicks probably follows suit. You're probably going to see Obi Toppin get bumped from 15.5 maybe up to 16, or all the way up to a full point bump at 16.5 points and rebounds. But is that a good line? Well, for the most part, Obi Toppin has done a good job of covering 15.5 points and rebounds, especially in his most recent sample size. So if we look at the last 10 games for Toppin, you can see that at 15.5 points and rebounds, he's gone over this number in 6 out of his last 10 games. That's a 60% hit rate, averaging 19.5 points and rebounds in that span, which is 4 points and rebounds higher than where his line is at today at 15.5. So as far as matchups go, it's a pretty decent matchup. Milwaukee is giving up the 24th most points per game at over 118 points per game allowed. And then when you look at the positional matchup here, we go to the power forward section of this DVP chart, defense versus position. We're looking at the last 7 games, and we're going to go find the Milwaukee Bucks here. When we do that, you can see that Milwaukee's given up 28.1 points per game, gang. That is the 6th most or 6th highest points per game average to the power forward position over that 7-game span. Now, you also sprinkle in the 9.5 rebounds that they're allowing, and you're somewhere right around 37 to 38 points and rebounds allowed to opposing power forwards. Again, Toppin's line is just 15.5. All we need is 16 points and rebounds, and then Obi Toppin will get us paid. So we know it's a plus EV play. We know the matchup's looking pretty good, and over the last 10 games, the hit rates aren't terrible either, hitting in 60% of his games. So let's check out some projection models now. And for this one, we're going to go over to RotoWire. We're going to just type in Toppin's name. And when we type in his name, RotoWire's projection for Obi Toppin's points and rebounds is actually pretty nice at 17.77. So that is a 2.2 points and rebounds projection higher than his line, where it currently sits at 15.5. Now, if this starts to get up to 16.5, it's going to get a little bit more uncomfortable. But much like Duncan Robinson's PRA last night, sometimes when it gets bumped up a point, it doesn't matter, and the guy just blows his projection out of the water, like we saw Duncan Robinson do for the PRA. So anyway, first projection, Obi Toppin versus the Bucks is looking pretty good here, 17.7 points and rebounds. Let's also check NumberFire real quick to get a second projection, a second opinion, and they've got Obi Toppin at 13.4 points. Then we're going to add in the rebounds, and in this case, he's at 4.8 projected rebounds, and that brings his projection to 18.2 on a line of just 15.5 points and rebounds. So I think Obi Toppin makes for a fine overplay or more option. Again, if you don't like Obi Toppin, you think Giannis is going to give him a hard time, give him trouble, well, then you can always take the less, or you could just walk away. I would probably say just fade it if you really don't want to take the over. All right, moving on to our second pick. This is going to be Damian Lillard of the Milwaukee Bucks, the other side of this game here. He's at 4.5 rebounds, and much like Obi Toppin, Damian Lillard has been pretty consistent, especially in recent games, as far as going over 4.5 rebounds. When you kind of take a look at what he's done here, you see that he's gone over in 7 of his last 10 games. So nice hit rate, 70%. And in that 10-game span, he's averaging 4.7 rebounds per game, just a little bit higher than his line at 4.5. Something that I also found interesting about this particular prop is when you go and you take a look at Damian Lillard on the road, he's actually got a little bit of a, even nicer hit rate when he's playing on the road. And in this case, he is going to be playing on the road. They're playing at a neutral site in Las Vegas. So for what it's worth, Lillard on the road this season has gone over this number in 5 out of 8 games. That's a 63% hit rate, and he's averaging exactly 4.5 rebounds per game. Now, as far as matchup goes, Indiana, not giving up a ton of rebounds per game to opposing point guards. I mean, they're kind of like a middle-of-the-pack team when it comes to rebounds allowed. So if you kind of scroll down just a little bit here, they're giving up about 6.3 rebounds per game, which again kind of puts them like smack dab right in the middle of the pack in terms of rebounds allowed per game to opposing point guards. So this is not necessarily the greatest matchup, but it's not the worst matchup either. But it is a consistent prop, one that kind of hits at a nice clip. Taking a look here, we want to know if this is a plus EV play. In other words, when we go and check out these sports books, Is the juice going over or is it going under? And in this case, it is going over on Damian Lillard at 4.5 rebounds. 53.6% chance that Lillard is going to clear 4.5 boards. Now, would I power these plays? I don't know. I'm more of a flex guy, so I would throw these in maybe like a larger flex entry. You just never know what's going to happen sometimes with these lines. They're pretty sharp. There's only 2 games, like I said, so everything's pretty dialed in for the most part for both of these games. But let's take a look at the projections for Damian Lillard's boards. I think you'll be pleased when you see what I have to show you. And again, we're going to start here on RotoWire. RotoWire's got Lillard projected for 5.5 rebounds. That's a whole rebound higher than his line and where it currently sits at 4.5 boards. Taking a look at a second projection. Again, we're going back to NumberFire here. NumberFire, a free projection site where you can go get projections for single stat player props or for fantasy score. Just make sure that if you're using fantasy score projections, that they're FanDuel projections in this case, all right? But they got Lillard projected at 4.7 rebounds, slightly more than 4.5, and definitely closer to 5 boards than 4 boards. So it's a pretty healthy projection for Lillard at 4.7 rebounds. Again, I would probably flex both of these plays, but I think for me, the lean would be toward the over on Damian Lillard. Now, those were the 2 best value plays on the board at this hour, which is about 2:30 a.m. Eastern time here on Thursday morning. But if you're looking for a third and final pick, like you're forcing me to play something else, it would probably be Giannis Antetokounmpo over 50.5 points and rebounds. I just think that this matchup for Giannis is going to be one that he is going to absolutely excel in. We already talked about the high game total. The matchup against the Indiana Pacers is a good one. If we take a look at the last 7 games for Giannis and the Indiana Pacers, Pacers are giving up 30.35 points per game to power forwards. That is the second highest point per game average that any team is allowing in the last 7 games. So the point per game average is very good here. I mean, I could easily see Giannis getting 30 plus points. Indiana is giving up over 30 points, second most. And then you see about 10 rebounds per game and about 4.5 to 5 assists per game. So I just don't think there's going to be a projection out there that's really going to do Giannis justice. I mean, we'll look at those projections in just a minute, but taking a look at where he's at on props.cash. Props.cash, you can see he's only hit this in 8 out of 20 games, but this is the type of game, a playoff type atmosphere, a tournament game where Giannis is and should rise to the occasion, in my opinion. So he's hit this number now in each of the last 2 games, dropping 53 PRA, points, rebounds, and assists in each of those games. But you want to talk about dominance. Look at the success he's had against the Indiana Pacers over the last 4 head-to-head matchups. The last 4 times that he's played Indiana, he's gone over this number by quite a large margin. 59, 67, and then more recently this season, the one time that they've met, he had 69 points, rebounds, and assists. So when we go and we take a look at the projections, like I said, they're just probably not going to be quite high enough. And so the first projection for Giannis's PRA is up there. I mean, it's at 49.61. His line's at 50.5. So it's a very strong projection. But again, I just don't think these projection models are going to ever project him for, 55 points, rebounds, and assists. But we know who he is. And sometimes you just don't overthink it. You just kind of go with the flow here. And we know that Giannis is going to have a major role and make a big impact in this game. Taking a look at his projection on NumberFire, though, just for fun, 30.3 points plus 12.7 rebounds and another 6.5 assists. And he's up there at 49.5 PRA. So his projections are a little bit lower than his line at 50.5. But when you head over to the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer and you type in his name, you'll already see that where he's at on the sports books is anywhere between 50.5 and 51.5. Like some of these bet online sports books have him all the way up at 51.5. And the 50.5 is pretty heavily juiced for the over. Take a look at the sharpest sports book out there, which is Pinnacle. He's a minus 143 betting favorite to go over at 50.5 PRA. Giving him over a 53% chance of going over. He needs 51 or more points, rebounds, and assists. And I think he's entirely capable of doing just that in a high-profile matchup in a game that means a lot. There's a lot at stake. So if I had to go with a third pick, it would be Giannis for more than 50.5 points, rebounds, and assists. If you're twisting my arm for a third one, that would be probably my favorite third one. But what do you guys think of these picks? I think this is the game to target. It's got the sky-high total, 254.5 points. I think there's going to be a lot of offense here. The first two picks that we discussed, very nice hit rates, projecting well. Obi Toppin, 15.5 points and rebounds, and then Damian Lillard at 4.5 boards. And then, of course, you just can never really go wrong going with Giannis Antetokounmpo over anything, right? So leave a comment down in the comment section below. Like I said, share this with somebody that you care about, all right? We are changing lives. I can't do this without you guys. I need your help. Your support goes a long way. Let's get this out to as many people as possible. Like, share, subscribe, do all the things, and we'll catch you in the next video. Good luck on all your bets and entries tonight, and we'll see you then.